We'll see if anyone else wants to drop in. All righty. Don't mind me, I'm just doing some things here. All right. Okay. Today's topic is, I'm trying to figure out how there we go. Okay. So today's topic is chapter 16 in the book, which is all about releasing oaths and vows and contracts.
Do you have any headphones here close by?
Evan, can you grab your headphones?
Oh, who's yelling about headphones? Oops. That's okay. So yeah, it's all about oaths and vows and contracts. And what is that? Switch
All right.
okay. That's me.
Are these headphones?
Oops. Okay. We'll just wait. We'll just wait for you.
I got them.
And could you just mute yourself and
One microphone on the too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Right there.
Thanks.
okay. So I'll probably edit this out of the video. So I'm going to just start again. All right. So tonight we're talking about chapter 16 in the book, which is all about oaths and vows and contracts, and also a little bit about anywhere where you're feeling limited or controlled by any religious upbringing, which happens, a lot, that guilt and limitation and this idea of judgment of what's good and what's bad. Really, a lot of times we'll get that from our religious upbringing, because that's really what religion's based about what's good and what's bad. And if you do what's good, you go to heaven. And if you do what's bad, you go to hell. And if you have any questions at all through this, just, speak up, say, hey, and let me know. All right, oaths and vows and contracts. What you need to know about them is, people get really wrapped up as if they're really, really important, like that they have been made with some grander purpose in mind. And the truth is, really, an oath or a vow or a contract is really just a limitation that we put on ourselves so we don't have any other choice. Which is why when we release ourselves from them, we feel better, we feel freer, we feel like, oh, okay, I can breathe because now I have my choice back. Because if you make a vow energetically to do something or to not do something, you have no other choice but to do it. The energy will automatically run towards that or run away from that, depending on how you've made your vow. And it really will feel like you're trapped in it, that you're obligated to it. Now, some of the most common vows that we make are like marriage vows. Okay? So why, a lot of people I talk to who say have unhappy marriages or they have marriages that end in divorce, they often say, like, it's like we've done this before. We've known each other for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And so why would you keep marrying the same person to keep divorcing them? Well, a vow explains that. Because when we take a marriage vow, and if you take it very seriously, you will,
expired.
if you take it very seriously, you will, it's like till death do you part or whatever, right? Except you never actually die. So, because your life is eternal. And so that vow keeps running from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And so when you dissolve those vows, you then become free to make another choice. And you can do that. You can do that in your lifetime right now with whoever you're married to, if you're married. And I often say to people who are divorced, just go ahead and dissolve the vows that you had with the person you were divorced with, so that that death do you part thing doesn't continue to haunt you from lifetime to lifetime. And when I suggest the idea that you dissolve your marriage vows with someone who you're still married to, people get really, really upset, or they think, no way, why I don't want to, because I love the person I'm with, or I want to be with them. And what you may want to consider is that a vow doesn't leave you any other choice. And if you were to dissolve your vows, then the being together comes from choice, not from no other choice. And then it can strengthen the relationship, because each person is free to actually have choice in the matter. Does that make sense? Sort of thing? Which is why contracts, they will create a specific result. They will create a specific action, but they don't always create more. And when we begin to dissolve those contracts, it doesn't mean you still can't do what you said you would do. It just means you have a choice to do it or not, and it's your choice now. It's your choice to carry on, or to change it, or to amend it, or to do whatever you want with it. And that's really key. Oftentimes when I'm working with a client who is stuck, like they just cannot get past a certain idea, can't seem to make any other choice, I immediately go looking to see if there's any oaths, vows, or contracts, because that is exactly what's going to hold them captive. And when they dissolve those off, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now I'll do that thing that I wanted to do that I couldn't seem to even fathom doing before, or choosing before. So I'm just wondering how we can play with this, because there are so many different types of oaths and vows out there that plague us. And so I thought we could do sort of a massive clearing tonight, if you're game. And before we go into that, does anyone have any questions? No, good. Then no, okay.
No, well, I'm wondering about sacred contracts. Is there?
Okay, yes, sacred contracts. Yes, let's put a name of sacred before the contract to really make sure that we never, ever dissolve it, is my point of view. Because if we make it sacred,
I just wondered.
Yeah, if we make it sacred, then we really, really can't renege, can we?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I have an interesting sort of viewpoint about the word sacred and how it's used. And I find it's also often used in a way to control people.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, you know, instead of just saying that it's really, really something divine, which means everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. But what we have done in our society is we have made sacred untouchable. You don't question it. You don't make fun of it. You get really serious about it because it's sacred. You might even get like really, really quiet about it. Or, you know, you can't be yourself when it's sacred because you have to be quiet and pious and reverent and all of that. And really, what's the fun in that? Where's the joy in that? You know?
Well, I actually come from a Roman Catholic background as well, so totally understandable. Judgment and sacred and pious and unworthy and all of the above.
Yeah, and don't question. Don't question it. How dare you question anything that's sacred?
Just do it.
Because it can control you then. Yeah. Just do it this way. It's sacred. And yet it feels awful, or you feel forced or obligated. How can that be sacred? How can it be sacred to force someone to do something that they don't want to do? How can it be sacred to judge someone and send them to hell if they choose something else? What kind of free will is that? You know? So yeah, I think the more we treat things lightly, that's really a more accurate description of keeping things sacred. Is to be irreverent about them instead of reverent. Is to make fun and light of it, and not take things so seriously. Because then that keeps the energy light and joyful, and we don't make anything too significant that would be considered superior to us. Yeah. Whoops.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you for that. It certainly sounds more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what if, and I always, I have a friend who uses this phrase all the time, and I usually think of it when I think of that, and it's, everything is sacred, nothing is sacred.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like everything is sacred. Yes, there's divinity and joy and the divine in everything, and yet nothing's sacred. Everything's on the table to be made fun of, to question, to make light of, to analyze, to sort of rip it apart and put it back together. That you know, there's nothing that's not available to us. Yeah, and that just feels like you can breathe.
For sure.
Right? And even that term sacrilegious, which means you're going against that which is sacred. How can you know, if it's really sacred, how could you possibly tarnish it? Like, how do you tarnish divinity? It's perfection. You can't tarnish it. That's a lie. Right? It's infinite. It's magnificent. You know, you're saying a bad word about it isn't going to harm it. You know, it's ridiculous, really. So okay. So anywhere and everywhere in time, space, dimension, and reality that you feel that you were sacrilegious, or were told you were, or were judged that way, and are punishing yourself for it, or are punishing others for it, would you destroy and uncreate it all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm just going to move that energy through. Woo! Yeah. Wow. There's a whole bunch coming out. That's great. And yeah, because I mean, I've heard, and I grew up raised, I was raised in the Roman Catholic world myself. I believe Sylvie was as well. So, so I'm quite well versed in the idea of using sacrilege to judge someone and control them, and make them feel bad or guilty, you know. And so all of the guilt, all of the Catholic guilt, and all of the guilt that anyone out there who will be listening to this later would be, that you've gathered through religion of any kind, would you now uncreate and destroy right at the very quantum molecular level, right down to its very last little things. Oh, there's a lot of that too. Yeah, and we can just break that up, break that energy up and let it go. Now, that's lovely. Okay. So there's quite a bit of, what's the word? Okay. So there's quite a bit of righteousness within most religions, I would say, from my point of view. And righteousness is always a judgment. Now, when we decided that we're righteous, then we are the ultimate right. And anything that goes against that would be wrong. And so anything that is wrong in a religious world, especially in like the Christian religions, ends up, and I'm not well versed in the Eastern religions as well, but especially in the Western religions, if you're wrong, then that is the basis to judge you and send you to hell, right? To give you eternal damnation, to make your life awful forever and ever, and no redemption, you know? And so all of the righteousness that you bought into, that then led to the wrongness and the judgment of you and the eternal damnation of you and your soul, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's remove all of those energies throughout time and space, dimension, reality, and all lifetimes. Ooh. Okay. And now, and that is also what breeds the whole idea of the good girl, what it is to be a good girl. Catholics are great for that, by the way. The girls have got to be good, you know? And so everywhere you were trying to be a good girl instead of just being who you are, which is not bad, but was judged that way, given the parameters of what they saw as good and bad. Would you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Lots of that. Yeah. Wow. It's like making my arms hurt. There's so much of it. I'm just going to throw that away. It's really amazing how that upbringing and those beliefs and those judgments can just weigh on us in a way that is really dynamic. And yeah. So let's clear away some oaths and vows, because since the people here on the panel tonight, and I know that the people watching, it'll be all the same for them, whether they're Catholic or not, or raised Catholic or whatever, or not, that because so many of us have lived so many lifetimes, and probably some of those lifetimes were through like monastic, like you might have been a monk or a priest or a nun, or you know, some other type of, like a reverend, or, you know, something to do in the church where you would take vows. Let's do some clearing of some common vows. So the first one that's coming to mind is poverty. You know, you go into a monastery and you give up all your earthly possessions, right? And you vow that anything that comes to you will go to the church or go to the monastery or whatever. Complete poverty. So anything for yourself is a no-no, and you have vowed that you will not keep it or anything. So how many oaths and vows and contracts do you have to be in poverty, and anything that comes to you, you give away? And all of those will you now recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, absolve yourself from, and completely uncreate and destroy them throughout all time, dimension, space, and reality for eternity.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, ooh, so many. Wow, lots. Wow. Yeah, let's blast that out of existence. Let them all dissolve. No longer holding you captive. Okay, now I'm getting okay, I keep getting information coming in, and so now, how many lifetimes were you on the receiving end of those who took the vow of poverty, which means it worked in your favor? You got richer by those who took the vow of poverty. And so all of those lifetimes, and everywhere you are holding on to the vows of poverty because they it worked to your advantage, and now it's biting you in the butt because you're on the other side of it, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy it all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Because often the way karma works most of the time is we hit both sides of things. So if you took the vow of poverty, likely you were someone who made someone take the vow of poverty and then took the money. You know what I mean? And you lived both sides of it. And sometimes you don't want to let go of the vow, or you'll hang on because you see the benefit of how it was to your advantage. So you're like, no, I want to keep it. Except then it screws you over later. Yeah. Oh, nice. Now they're starting to clear. It's like when people get the idea of, oh my goodness, not only did I do that, but I'm hanging on because I'm hoping to get paid back. Everywhere you're looking for a payback, would you destroy and uncreate all of that? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And everywhere you're looking for the reward of your denial, the reward of poverty. Everywhere you're looking for the reward of poverty and still waiting to get paid for it, would you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
So many times we were told that if we live these really pious, humble, impoverished, hard, struggling lives, and basically kept ourselves on a cross, then we would get that ticket to heaven. We'd get the big ticket to heaven. But if you screwed up, your ticket chances would go away. So everywhere you're still waiting to get the ticket to heaven that you're never going to get, because heaven is a state of being. It's not a place that you get into with a ticket. Would you destroy and uncreate it all?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh. There we go. Oh. So much energy around this. It's so great to clear it. And we're clearing it more, I think, than just for, the three of us that are on this call at this moment, but for a much larger audience. Okay, so where do we go next? So I'm going to leave poverty for a moment, and let's go to vows of silence. So how many vows of silence have you made? And how many secrets have you vowed to keep? Ooh. And everywhere you gave up your voice and your right to talk or tell the truth, would you just recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, dissolve, absolve, and destroy in totality throughout all eternity, space, time, dimension, and reality? Oh,
Yes.
wow. There we go. Yeah. So, I meet lots and lots of people where this is really, really prevalent, where they're like, I would like to get out there and speak, but it's almost like something chokes me, or I can't say the things that I want to say, or I feel like I have to, say something else, or whatever it is. So, or people have problems with their throat chakra, and they get thyroid problems and all sorts of things like that. So, so all of the vows of silence, how many vows of silence are you hanging on to? Oh, and then the flip side of that would be, how many lifetimes did you make others keep a vow of silence and keep your secrets? Would you be willing to let the secrets, let the truth fly, because it will set you free? So everywhere you're hanging on to vows of silence so that the secrets could be kept, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy, absolve throughout all eternity, space, time, dimension, and reality?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ooh. So do any of you notice anything going on while this clearing's happening? Can you feel that? Can you sense that? Anything?
I feel lighter.
Good. Yeah. Nice.
I feel tingly.
Cool. Do either of you feel resistance to anything? Is there anything holding you back from clearing them? Are you good?
No, I'm good.
I think I have some resistance, but I've had it since I read the chapter on vows. So it kind of, when you described that a vow feels like a band across you that's holding you back.
Yeah.
I've felt it ever since I'd like that.
Oh,
so I
cool.
don't know what that is.
Well, let's ask it. So I want you to sort of pull at that energy and invite it in and take a look at it. And so what have you vowed?
It may be with respect to my marriage, this
Okay.
marriage in this lifetime.
Oh, okay. And so would you like to recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy all those vows that hold a band across you, and instead be in marriage out of choice?
Yes,
instead of contract? Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh. All right. So is that lightening, loosening?
It certainly is. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been there a couple weeks.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes sense why you don't want to let it go, because if you still want to be married, you think, why would I release my marriage vow?
Yeah.
Because it's more fun to be with someone because you want to be with them, because you choose to be with them, and for them to be with you because they choose to be with you, instead of, well, we're tied here together. Guess we'll have to make the best of it. You know? Yeah. Yeah, it really does make a relationship better, not worse. Because people will become very resentful when they feel the trap. Yeah. Okay. What next? We did vow of silence, vow of poverty. Oh, what are some other good ones? How about a vow to something around the idea of doing penance, or like punishing yourself, a vow to self-punish. And so how many vows throughout all time, space, and eternity, contracts or oaths have you made to punish yourself for any reason, for any circumstance? And all of those, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, destroy, and absolve completely throughout eternity?
Oh, yes.
Oh, there's some more there. Yeah, and I'm just letting that energy flow. Ooh. Yeah. Now, because we're dealing with Catholics here with who's present here, the thing with Catholicism is a very brilliant strategy of how to keep Catholics throughout time, space, and eternity, because when you get married in the Catholic Church, you actually have to sign a contract saying that all your children will be Catholic. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that, but anyway.
No.
But yeah, you have to promise. I don't know if you actually have to sign, but you have to promise that you will make all your children Catholic. So everywhere you have been promised to be Catholic, so you had no choice in the matter, and everywhere you promised others to be Catholic and making them have no choice in the matter, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy all of that? Set all the children free, including yourselves.
Yes,
Never having to be Catholic again if you don't wish to be. And you certainly can choose to be. Yeah. I'm not trying to be anti-Catholic, let's kill the Catholics. I'm just, it's just very restricting on an infinite being to not have choice. And so this is just restoring the choice. Yeah. Oh. Oh, wow. There we go. Yeah. And so, and also to just add to the little Catholic things, so all the oaths and vows and contracts and promises you made when you went through baptism, first communion, or confirmation, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy all of those that hold you captive? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. it kind of releases the ties. Anyone I've ever met who grew up Catholic, there's such an immense sort of hold on you, is the best way I can put it. So most Catholics don't even have the idea that they can not be Catholic. It's like not an option, not to be Catholic. You know what I mean? And so anywhere that you were not given an option, or not giving yourself the option to choose to call yourself Catholic out of choice, or to practice Catholicism out of choice but out of obligation, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, uncreate, and destroy all of that?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Now I'm being told to go into the, I'm being shown the Crusades. So that's fun. What I'm being told is that through history, there's been missionaries and people out to convert people, right? Become a Christian, become saved. You're a heathen, now you're a Christian, now you will be saved. You know that idea?
Mm-hmm.
And so everywhere you bought that if you choose anything other than Christianity or Catholicism or something like that, or whatever religion of your choice, that's if it's got a hold on you, because without it, you are a heathen and you will not be saved. Would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, revoke, reclaim, and uncreate, destroy all of that? Because what's there to save? You know, the idea of heaven and hell, it's kind of come out in a number of different, like a number of different priests and bishops and things like that have spoken up and basically said the concept of hell is a construct. It's not real. It's man-made. And when you think of an ever-loving God, a God who loves you unconditionally, why would they punish you? That's not unconditional love. That's I'll love you if you do it this way. I'll love you if you do it that way, and I won't love you if you don't. That's conditional love. But unconditional God is one that loves unconditionally. And so everywhere you believed in the conditional God and in the condition of heaven versus hell, and everywhere you believed that you needed to be in this structure of religion in order to keep yourself out of hell, would you recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all throughout eternity?